Hello there, everyone. Well, I'll put it straight to you. Things are going to change on this channel because we feel bottled in at the moment by the system and by what we're expected to read, what we're expected to say, follow the political diary, as it were, and just go along with this sort of train of thought. And we want to break out of that. So Richard and I had a long, detailed discussion over the last few days, and we want to break out of that box and do a bit more of what we enjoy doing. So I'll bring Richard in. So what do you think, Richard?
Indeed, Jeff. It's a funny old thing. Freedom of speech. We talk a lot about freedom of speech. So shouldn't we be able to be free to be able to speak about what we feel is necessary? It's not so much what we want to talk about. It's also about the fact that this whole situation that we are seeing unfolding with the geopolitics and including entertainment, the bread and circuses, it's all connected. These are not separate issues. Okay. Talking about, for instance, hypothetically, Meghan Markle, not something I particularly want us to be talking about in particular, but, you know, the fact that is part of a system. Okay, it's a control system. Why is it that the media says that is an important thing for us to soak up every morning in the news? Why? It is the bread and circuses, ladies and gentlemen. And both Jeff and myself, we've had a long chat about this, and we want to be able to cover a lot of topics that previously we have thought, perhaps our viewership won't really want to hear that, because and we think, well, probably they would actually. They would like to hear about different things. And it's all down to the framing and how we're presenting it, because there's so much going on at the moment in the world. And to say that this is all down to just focusing on the government and on politics. Jeff, when we started working together, we did something very broad with our first work in the, let's say, the world of media. And we covered many topics because we had felt very stifled what we were initially saying. And now we just get the sense that it's time to go back to that position of being able to speak what we want to say, you know, no matter who it pees off at the end of the day. You know, we can sit here all day and present reasonable arguments to you about X, Y, and Z, but we'd like to broaden it beyond X, Y, and Z. There's a larger alphabet out there. That's my point anyway.
Yeah, I mean, from my point of view, I started this with very detailed discussions into various little niche areas of politics. Some people liked it. Some people, it made their eyes glass over. So what I want to do is be less sort of detail, because that detail takes up a lot of time. And at the end of the day, the detail I find is only in the newspapers and on the telly anyway. So most people know the detail. All they want is someone to just talk about it in more sort of general terms, which is what we want to be doing. And what we'll be doing actually is putting out a lot more content. Okay, a lot more content, but it won't be down in the weeds of the individual sort of microscopic view of what's down there, because most people aren't interested in that. They want to know how it's affecting them. That's what they want to know, not the root causes really so much as how it's affecting them. So that's what we want to get more to. And I just want to say thanks very much to Idofla for your contribution. Proof that my neighbours are not complying with Surrey County Council's rules, yet their bins are still collected while mine, despite being fully compliant, is ignored. How is this not discrimination? So you have proof that they're not complying. Well, yeah, I mean, I've just had a saga with bin collections as well. So yes, I think what they want paying for bin collections, but they don't want to dirty their hands with the bins anymore. Not the council. They just don't want to do it. They want to pay for it though. Won't just pay for it. Anyway, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Did I actually show people what? Did I put that up? Yeah, I pressed the button. It didn't go off, but didn't go
Jeff,
up. But there you go.
Pressing buttons, I tell you what.
Yeah, I know. I'm a bit of a danger pressing buttons, aren't I?
Yes. It's like another thing we enjoy doing is we want to do some more, I don't know. Over the years, we've done a few little silly little sketches and stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
I enjoy them, and they've been well received. And we think, you know what? And then we think, oh, but that might be a little bit going against what a lot of the viewers might want, even though it's well received. And we think, well, look, can't we just get on and do the channel that we've always wanted to? Because Jeff and I have had a vision for doing a channel, we'll say, or a media outlet for quite some time. Believe it or not, we're going about 16 now, maybe 17 years, and this is something that we've always wanted to do, and we think that if anything, we are doing you viewers a disservice by narrowing ourselves down into doing just a few little fringe, little niche topics. It's like there's a big world out there, and a lot of people come up to us on the street and they ask us questions about X, Y, and Z, totally unrelated to the channel. And a lot of the comments here, we have people asking us questions that are unrelated to the topic that we're talking about, and we think, do you know what? That's a very good point. That is, we should be able to talk about that. But it's a little bit off topic, and I think, so what? We just need to get on with it. It's one of those things that happens with a YouTube channel. Sometimes you can get really quite constrained by it, and you can dig yourself into a hole. And I've seen other YouTubers go through this and come out the other side when they've said, actually, do you know what? Let's just talk about what we want to. We thought, like, Joe Rogan, is he niche? No, he talks to anybody he wants to, and about anything he wants to. And Russell Brand does the same thing, and a few others. And I think, well, why aren't we? Why are we every day sort of going through the news thinking, is this appropriate for the channel or not? Is this, and I think, no, we'll just talk about what we want to. We're going to throw out the content, guys. And if you don't want to watch the video, you don't have to watch it. It's that simple.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
But here's a prime example. Mr. Marvin asks, wonder why Jeff has not mentioned that Senator John Kennedy has spelt out the whole Chagos scenario. Senator John Kennedy clearly states that the UN is pushing Starmer to push this ludicrous deal. Yeah, I would totally agree with that. And it's one of the things that I've done the Chagos Islands in passing because I haven't felt I've had the time to spend 3 hours putting together a superb video on exactly what happened with Chagos that is accurate to the nth degree. And that's part of what I used to do. But it becomes very cloying for me. It becomes very restrictive. And what I need to do is be putting out enough content that I can use a subject like that for an 8 or 10 minute video where we just, Richard and I, loosely talk around the topic and mention these things. Whereas before I felt very constrained that I had to be the expert on that topic at that moment in time. And it's very, very demanding on you when you can't push out the content you want to. So I'm walking back from that. I'll still do the reading and all the rest of it, but it's going to be a lot more off the cuff and ad lib during the video itself. So I'm going to miss stuff out. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to be human about it. And I've got to tell you, one of the biggest criticisms I used to get was Jeff's AI. He's just a robot. He's not real. He's not human. How can he do that? And I'm looking back at myself saying, yes, how could I do that? It turned me into a robot by trying to do these things perfectly. And you don't want to know the number of takes it took to produce each of those videos because I wanted it to run seamlessly all the way through. So you get to the 7th minute out of an 8.5 minute video and make a complete Horlicks of it. Switch off, delete, start again, all the way through, a number of times for each video. I've had enough of that. It is too demanding for me. So I'm not doing it anymore. This is what we're going to be doing more and more of, but you're going to get a lot more of it.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, what a lot of you watching this right now don't realize is that Jeff is a wonderful man. I couldn't ask for a finer friend, but he's also a perfectionist, and that's bloody annoying. No, he is. He's a perfectionist, and it comes from his military training. I mean, an incredible amount of pressure has been put on Jeff over the years, and especially in his job within the Navy. He had an incredibly responsible job, I'll have you know. So yes, the way to look at it, ladies and gentlemen, is just to understand what we are doing here. We are trying to give you value for money in terms of each video, because a lot of the time, if Jeff, we did find that you would do like an incredibly long video, there's so much work would go into it. I mean, you don't realize Jeff will research literally for 10 hours a day, the day before, to work towards a video the following day. And it was, and obviously I'd be involved there as well, the writing and the creative side as well. But I could see the demands it was making on Jeff. And I'm thinking, you don't have to say all that. People don't need to know the entire detail on that one. And it is absolutely, it's too much for you, mate, and why do it? Why do it?
Yeah, well, it was only because I felt it had to be done that way. But I don't think that's right. This is social media. This isn't an academic exercise to see how much we can bore you. This is social media, where we tell you what we think, where we do some reading on a thing, and then we tell you what we think off the cuff. And that's more and more where we're going. So I know it's going to upset some people. Some people love the detail. They love the academic approach. They love all this. So it's got to be serious. If it's not serious and academic, then it's not true. But social media is proving that social media can be true as well. It's just how you approach it. I mean, everything that Richard and I talk about, we try to do a bit of background reading and a few checks to make sure it is true. There have been several stories that have come to light, and we've looked at them and gone, "Oh, that's a good one." Then the first check you do, you find out that actually the story is 10 years old, or it's not true. And one of the ones that did upset some people on this channel a few days ago was the human meat in the European Union thing, where a Twitter account said that these images of slaughtered stuff all over the place being, it was just horrific the way that they were dealing with it, and you thought, I couldn't eat that. And it was claimed it was from France, but a lot of people said, unless you can prove it came from France, why are you talking about it? But that's the point. Someone else made the claim, so why can't I talk about it and say if it's true? And this is the sort of thing. There's a lot of stuff there that people will have seen that and assumed it was France immediately. But by me coming in and just saying, well, if it was France, then suddenly people say, maybe it wasn't. You know what I mean? And this is the sort of conversations we want to have. So that's where we're going.
Quite funny, because we did deliberately said, this if this is France throughout that video. If this is France, what meat is that there? Is it because we know that various meats have been put into the food supply? Could it be human even? We don't know. We don't know. It could be. And that's the point of it. You're allowed, and even the thumbnail had a question mark. Question mark. You don't know. If you don't know what's in the meat, it could be anything. So there we go. Yesterday, it was a great day for upsetting people yesterday, actually, about the thing about Nigel Farage and the possible merger with the Tories. Now, it's quite interesting, this one, because as a matter of fact, there are a few things that are going on behind the scenes that makes that quite an interesting topic. I don't know if you watched Gawain Towler last night on GB News, and he said, look, before the election, no, absolutely not. There will be no merger with the Tories or anything, no pact, nothing. After the election, and don't forget who Gawain Towler is. He was you Reform's spokesperson, and basically Nigel Farage's right-hand man since not the inception, but the early days of UKIP. But he did say that after an election, if there's potential that the Lib Dems and Labour would band together, then for the sake of the country, to get Starmer out, then maybe such a proposal wouldn't be unreasonable. And I was thinking, yes, that's pretty much what we were trying to say yesterday. But you had a load of people saying, oh, it's not true. None of this would ever happen, And I have had it on a little bit of authority that there were conversations between persons in Reform close to Farage and close to Jenrick. I don't know if that's fully true, but I have had it. I have heard these things. So, But
Yeah.
again, some people say, "Oh, you can't talk about that. You're splitting the vote." I think it's hysterical. You have to be able to debate things, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what we want to be doing more of: is debating. You know.
Yeah, we want to talk about these issues that everyone else thinks are verboten. You can't talk about, you either support reform or you don't, and it's not like that. Politics is a mixture. So we've got to approach it in that same way. And I just don't want to go down these continual rabbit holes of having to do this or having to do that. We don't have to do anything. We're finding that out. So Richard and I are just going to talk about what we want to talk about and hope we bring you along for the conversation. It's nothing more than that. It's a debate, a conversation, conversations that some people feel they can't hold. We'll hold them for you. We'll have those conversations. Right. And you can join in and you can say, oh, that's brought out something I didn't know before. And that's the real point of it. The debate and conversation digs things out of and brings them to light.
Jeff, you have just summed up what we wanted to say this morning perfectly. Is the sheer fact that you have to be able to hold these conversations. Have you ever been to the pub and a good friend of yours, was saying something that you disliked? Of course, it happens. Jeff and I, we argue like cat and dog half the time, but that's the thing.
No, we don't.
Yes,
no, we don't.
But the thing is, but we respect each other, and there's enough love between us as friends. It's whatever. I don't say I'm not talking to you again because you said something I totally disagreed with, and I'm fine. It becomes very polemic sometimes with social media. So I wanted us to have this chat, and it's great if you can come along with us as we move forward. If you don't want to, then off you go. But I think it's great that you do stay because we are trying to build something that's going to be a bit more exciting. As I said, debating things, talking about things is much more, as you just said, Jeff, you get more out of this. You get more out of the situation. You get a different perspective. You get to challenge yourself, even if you totally disagree with it. And this is the fun thing of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now here's a good one from G Hammer. Chicken nuggets for everyone. Now I'm assuming this relates to the case of the guy who couldn't be deported because one of his sons, or one of his offspring, I'm not sure if he had a daughter and sons, but one of his sons couldn't eat chicken nuggets from the place that they would be deported to. Only British nuggets would do. Now, there was a lot of debate online about this one. And being me, I thought, cool, that would make a good video. But then I thought, my first reaction was, right, go to the court documents, read court document A, court document B, court document C, and see where it went to. Then we go to the appeal, because it was actually a deportation or an immigration tribunal, and then an upper immigration tribunal got involved, and there was lots of discussion in social media about, this was wrong and that was wrong. But I did get there in the end. But I thought, oh, no one's going to want to go through all this lot, because basically the story is that the lower tribunal said the guy can stay because his kid doesn't like nuggets from abroad. Son C had other issues as well. Okay, and but the upper tribunal said, no, we need a proper ruling on whether chicken nuggets is actually going to stop us deporting this person. So they're waiting for another judgment on that, which actually here we have high-paid judges. I can judge except on chicken nuggets. Wait a minute. Come on, boys, shorten the process, make the decision. But it has to go all the way up. And when you've got endless amounts of money in a court system, when you've got the government versus a whole woke establishment that have got loads of donors who do, then you've got all this money mounting up, and they can go right up to the ECHR. They could go right to the ECHR on a subject of chicken nuggets. They could. Whereas someone like, I don't know, Tommy can't raise the money, that amount of money, to fight their corner. Yeah. So you get the idea. This whole thing is a sham. It's a scam.
And this is a prime example of what happens with this channel. Okay, so it might seem like we're a duck floating above the water, but the legs are paddling underneath with the research, like the Jeffrey just said about the chicken nugget. We call it Nugget Gate. And you know, the amount of research, you know, it's like if I was to say, oh, let's do something on, I don't know, Meghan Markle, you know, whatever. I use Meghan Markle because she did, you know, a few people are covering her in particular. There's no other reason I'm using her as an example, other than the fact that I find her coverage completely irrelevant, which is why I'd like us to, it's in part to cover it because why is it in the papers? But anyway, but if we were to do something like that, Jeff would be there straight away. Right, let me find out.
No, I don't need to do that. I'll just take it more at face value, I think.
Yes.
Nobody goes to the pub anymore, Richard. It's too bloody expensive, says Daryl Hart. Yeah, you're absolutely right there.
Absolutely.
You have to take out a third mortgage. Yeah.
Well, this is again why we're doing this, because we are, as you said earlier, Jeff, we're having the conversations that other people can't really have a lot of the time. They can't go to the pub. They can't afford to go to the pub and interact with other people. They're too frightened to say it on social media. And so, you know, come and see two old Dodgers, you know, having a Barney about something instead. Probably the things that you want to have a Barney about. And yes, when we do the live streams as well, you can join in. And, you know, we do enjoy doing the live streams, but we've been thinking we want to keep these because they can, there's a bit of an issue algorithmically with live streams on how it affects the channel. Depending on your route of channel, there's a lot to this going on in the background. But what we intend to do is we want to try and do a Wednesday evening. We've tried so many times to stick to rigidly to things, but we will try on a Wednesday evening to be putting out a very long, hopefully, live stream. So at about 6 o'clock-ish on a Wednesday, if you could join us on here, we will try our best to be here after promising this and to actually deliver a live stream for you, one where we can all sit together and chat, because this is the exciting thing. This is we do love the interaction with you guys. We do, you know.
Yeah. How the Time Prophet says, I don't agree with llamas. It's all camels for me. And you know the background to that one, someone's just been appointed, haven't they, to become a minister. What's her name? I can't remember her name because I haven't researched it, you see, so I don't know her name.
Yeah.
But she is she says that people should be able to identify as llamas, or she said this in about 2016, and that there should be no there should be just one place to go to the loo for everybody, all this sort of thing. And of course, she's been taking a bit of a ribbing about people being self-identify as llamas. And at lunchtime today on GB News, they had a bit of a skit of pointing at a picture of a llama and a picture of this new minister and asking people what the difference was between the two and all sorts. But for me, what it should be doing is setting off the alarma bells in Downing Street.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, you didn't just say that, did you? Oh, look, ladies and gentlemen, that is worth unsubscribing for, that is. I'm telling you now.
Oh, dear. I couldn't resist it.
Oh, my goodness.
Project Masculinity, thank you. At least Trump doesn't blame the previous admin. Well, he did in his inauguration speech. He made a few jibes, didn't he?
Yeah.
But he actually just gets on with the job now.
Well, that's it.
He you know, I mean, the amazing thing is, I don't know whether you know, but our national debt is, what is it now, 2 trillion or 2.6 trillion quid or something. That's the known sort of debt. The Americans have got something like $36 trillion. I mean, all Trump had to do was come along and say, I found a $2.2 trillion hole. And then he could do anything he liked, couldn't he? So all he had to say, I found a $22 trillion hole or whatever it is, and therefore I can do what I like. But
well, the thing is, okay, so yes, I mean, Trump has said on a number of occasions, or the last administration, and, you know, said, look what he's done to this country. And he's right. I mean, he has blamed to a certain extent, but what he hasn't done, he has just got on with it. And he's said, right, okay, well, this is the remedy. This is how we're going to solve this situation. And fantastic. You know, that's what we want as a leader who comes in and says, right, here's the answers. Here's the answers. This is what we're going to do. I'm not hearing that from many politicians in the UK at all, to be honest with you. The only person who's coming out with genuine. Now, I'm not going to go on about UKIP and all this, but he's the only person who's saying, all right, this is what I will do. Okay. And also Rupert Lowe. He's not a party leader, but Rupert Lowe. I'm a huge Rupert Lowe fan. And he's going to say, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. I would like to see Nigel Farage step up to the plate and do exactly the same and give more of an idea of what he will do. That's what we need Nigel Farage to do. We need him to step up. Look, at the end of the day, people say, shut up. Don't criticize Nigel. You're splitting the vote. It's 4 years away. The election is 4 years away. Nobody's splitting anything. He isn't God, and we can criticize him and talk about him. Bloody hell.
Well, there is a good thing, though. At least we're not splitting our infinitives, which is more important.
Yes.
And Jamie DH303 says, I want a video of Jeff sampling a range of chicken nuggets. Well, I wouldn't waste my money.
I'd pay good money to watch that myself.
Here's a question. Do you really think it's chicken in there?
Well, everything tastes like chicken, doesn't it? You know?
Correct.
Yeah.
Hey, Richard, take this one. Merlin JW. I, for one, wouldn't waste my time watching a video about Meghan Markle. In fact, we probably...
Hang on a second. Just a second. Yes, if somebody was talking about, Meg, it's all about the reframing. This is something that we did years ago with a little section on a online newspaper we had called, the section was called Tripe and Whatnot. And you might be hearing more of that name in the future, Tripe and Whatnot. Because we used to cover things like in a written form about Meghan Markle and say, why on earth is this the lead article in the Daily Mirror or whatever? Why is this important? So I think it is good to cover things like Meghan Markle, even if we find the whole idea and talking about it loathsome. We're not going to actually be debating Meghan Markle, what she's doing to the royal family, because we just don't care. You know, that's the point. You know, I don't care who's on Love Island. Will I do a video about it? Ooh. Don't tempt me to, just saying what the load of rubbish that is. Strictly Come Fall Over, whatever it's called. I don't care. We don't care. We don't watch that. You're lucky if you can get Jeff and I to watch anything other than rugby and sport, to be honest with you, even,
Yeah, and
you do like the Grand Prix, Jeff. You do like the Grand Prix.
And on that one, I couldn't watch the last England game because I thought we were going to lose. And I thought, oh, why bother?
Oh, well, he didn't lose like Wales have been losing.
Sport is too woke these days, anyway.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for Law and Order. Thank you for your contribution. And also, Cy Harris, thank you very much. And keep up the good work, Jeff and Richard, our very own Caped Crusaders. Now, when I read that, the first thing that sprang to mind was Only Fools and Horses, where they went to a fancy dress party dressed as Batman and Robin, didn't they? In their little freewheeler, and it broke down in the middle of town. And you need to watch it. I can't describe it. It's absolutely it had me in stitches. So fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Cy Harris. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, but we're not going to get dressed up like that and run through town on this channel. Not yet, anyway. Yeah.
That could be something. Oh, mate. Here's a question, right? Who would like to see Jeff and I dressed as Batman and Robin running through Hay-on Wye? Who would like to see that?
Hay-on Wye. No.
Okay. All right.
Oh, dear. Well, there you go. Yeah, Jeff, I'm so upset at the lack of Meghan Markle cakes, says Paranormal Channel. Well, believe it or not, Richard is a bit of a dab hand at bakery. So we could end up...
Well... Yeah, I mean, I'm specializing at the moment in bara breath and doing various versions of fruit loaves. And I'm sure you're all very excited about that. Would you tune in to watch me do a fruit loaf? No. I have to tell you that one I did around Christmas time, which was it was great. The cranberry date white chocolate brandy, and Earl Grey tea. Oh, that was a bar of breath. That's not even a bar of breath, really. It's a version of, you know. A friend of mine actually did a bar of breath the other day. He posted it on social media, and he'd soaked the dried fruit in stout instead of tea, which apparently worked very well. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
Well, Jenny Selly has just said, yes, please. I'm not sure whether that's to the bar of breath or us getting dressed up as Batman and Robin.
About Batman and Robin, there's a lot of them here. I'm afraid to say, Jeff, we're going to have to seriously consider it now. You started this, mate. You started it.
No, I didn't talk.
Yeah, okay.
So,
ladies and gentlemen, you know, I think... Thank you for sitting down with us and just having a little listen to us as we sort of discuss how we'd like to move forward with the channel, because, you know, we have been working on this for a very long time. And as Jeff has just said earlier on, it's very, very difficult for him to produce like these incredibly in-depth, almost like reports that he would present in the military, you know, and there's a lot of work that goes in there, and it constrains what we can actually talk about, because the amount of time and effort goes in. Where we'd like to just be able to say, hang on, these are the basic, you know, without having to go through each layer of each loop. We can say, okay, this is the outline of it, and just trust us on that one.
yeah. We've checked
our
sources.
Telling you the truth.
Yeah, we checked our sources, so
yes.
Oh, dear me.
Oh,
look, here we go. Someone wants us to back cake. There you go. Merge the two together. Yeah.
Could be done. Could be done.
And someone else has asked who would be Batman. Well, me, of course. I'm the oldest. I'm the most handsome, you know.
I've always wanted to wear a Robin costume secretly. That's my little... Yeah, that's my...
this is look at that one. Ooh.
I am, actually. I get called that quite regularly. Yes.
Oh, dear me.
That's my wife's pet name for me, that is.
I don't think you quite picked up the innuendo there, Richard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Yes. Thanks very much. You guys are great. Please keep safe. I need to see you doing Batman and Robin. Yes. Anyway.
But, you know, one or two commented they also enjoyed our little bloopers reel. Now, we didn't know whether to put that out. I mean, you know, not many people are going to watch it because it's not going to get algorithmically done. But we do it for the channel, you know, for you guys. And we want to be doing more stuff like that, a little bit more personable, because at the end of the day, you can, if you want to have in-depth reports and etc., even a lot of the news channels do cover that. And there are other channels which cover this sort of thing. But I don't think it fully gets the message across, as you said, Jeff, where in debate, you get more out of it. You will get more knowledge and more understanding and a better, I don't know, grounding in what the truth of a matter is. There we go.
Yeah.
Men in tights, no.
Someone said,
Jeff Redcliffe, no. We are not going to be, well, we'd have to, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. No, and that's what we hope to bring, is a bit more sort of, you know, a bit more levity. Some of this stuff that we're going through is really, really serious. It's going to hurt. Be in no doubt, this is going to hurt a lot of people. And what we should be able to have a bit of smile while we're going along in life, but basically take the P out of those at the top who are trying to, they're trying to destroy us. They're trying to destroy our way of life, our country. Many of those people, they dislike the whole idea of borders, because borders gives us identity. They don't want us to have an identity because that makes us less controllable. So, you know, but we should be taking the pee out of these people a lot more than we do, and I'm hoping we can do that during these sort of sessions. So like the minister with the llama. So or the
well, that's it. I mean,
the llama obsession.
Life is ludicrous. This world is absolutely ludicrous. There are things going on in this world which are ludicrous. And if we're just sitting here talking about the political aspect, we're not going to get into we're only talking about one manifestation of the ludicrousness of life. There's multiple ways to look at this world, and multiple topics as well that are, I can't wait to get my teeth into them. Jeff, I'm looking forward to we're going to do another video later on today, at least one. And we're just going to just check them out. If you watch them, if you watch them, if you don't, you don't. It doesn't matter, but it does.
It does. Of course it does.
You will enjoy.
Oh, actually, just to let you know, Richard, because I run the channel and I've got all the stuff in the channel back end, Richard is subscribed to the channel just to monitor it and see what happens when we put up videos. And recently he found that wasn't getting notifications. So what he did was he fully unsubscribed and resubscribed and went through the things and selected the all option.
Yes.
Suddenly he's now getting alerts again.
Yes.
So if you're not getting alerts, it may well be because somehow or other YouTube, your subscription is sort of, I don't know, too old or something. I don't know if that's a thing. I really don't. But, so although I hate to say it, you can, if you like, unsubscribe, but then resubscribe.
Yeah, but the important bit is it's not just resubscribing. You've got to look through and make sure you double click that all option or click it just so it's ticked. Yeah. That's the thing. Some very strange things going on with YouTube at the moment. By the way, quick one here from Jenny Sally. Lots of love to TR, to our Tommy, that is. And yeah, absolutely. He's going to need it right now and does need it. He's not in a, he's in a prison cell alone. And I don't think it's very good for him there. We'll just say that. And we need to be praying for him and sending him lots of love. And this is why we need things like this here as well. We need to build communities. It doesn't, if it's this channel or whichever one, but please band together with other humans and just express yourselves. We try to read as many of these. Hang on, what's this? Hang on, 2 seconds. English realist, Fat Man and Dobbin. sorry, that's class.
Where is he?
Yeah, get it.
I've seen that one.
But no, going back.
No,
yes,
I got it. Yeah. Yes, right. Yeah, that's you're on the naughty step, aren't you, mate?
I know. I never thought I'd be called Dobbin. Anyway, but build communities. I'm sorry,
just
go
one
back.
thing. Sorry.
Go on.
Yeah, one thing on Tommy is I've done a little bit of research on this the last couple of days, and it turns out that he's had at least 10 visits cancelled in the last few weeks. And also there's a new trick out there. It seems that instead of just stopping people visiting and saying you can't visit, suddenly that day becomes unavailable for visits.
It's disgusting.
There's been a couple of those as well. So this is not good at all.
We need him out now. We need Tommy Robinson out now. He is a political prisoner. I don't care what other people have to say in this matter, other political party leaders. They are wrong. They are wrong.
Yeah.
End of.
Yeah.
We need that man out now. He's a national hero. And a lot of you will say, oh, he's this, he's that. I saw some comments earlier. Oh, you and Jeff, you Zionists, shills, whatever. Well, just go away. Go away. Neither Jeff. I'd love it if Israel was paying us some money. If you want to, Israel, you can. It's perfectly acceptable.
Tell them to pay us so we can. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and thanks, Doffler, for your further support. When you click subscribe, I'm not quite sure how down the drop down menu and click all. Yeah, that's what you got to do. You've got to
down the drop down menu and click all. That's absolutely correct.
Yeah. So it's the click all is the big thing. If you don't do that, you probably won't get anything. So it seems to be a weird system, but there you go.
But yeah, I mean, Tommy gets called a Zionist shill. We all get called Zionist shills when you're basically just speaking up for Israel and critical of certain events and certain demonstrations and critical of the way this country is going. You get called a Zionist shill. What's that about? Do these people actually know what Zionism is?
Exactly.
Zionism essentially is basically the belief that the Jewish people should have their own homeland. Okay, so you've got this huge area. Right? We'll just look at the size of the planet. Never mind the Middle East. Look at the size of the planet. Right, there's people who have got a huge historical link, incidentally, with Israel. They were forced out of Europe in what was practically it was a genocide. There's no other way of putting it. They were forced out of out of Russia as well, and they were also there's something called the Second Exodus. They were forced out of the Middle East. So where did they have to go? Where were they going to go? Well, their historic homeland, which at the time happened to be pretty damn empty and run down, and just with no real persons taking ownership of it. And I'm not just saying,
to be truthful, Richard, it was never run up in the first place.
Yes,
it was sand and desert.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was under the ownership of the Ottoman Empire for quite a while, who incidentally did commit a genocide. Yes, the Armenian genocide. If you haven't heard of that, that was a genocide that took place. But let's forget about that. Let's just throw around the word Zionist here, there, and everywhere. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So that's and yes, we will. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
Anyway, what I'm going to say is on that note, we have to go and refill our coffee cups and get prepared to put out some more content, because we're going to start putting out some more content this afternoon. So I hope you'll be here for that. And so on that note, sorry, go on, Richard.
I was just going to say very quickly, we are going to ease into this. We'll probably be putting out another 2 videos today. But we intend to be doing, as I said, more content that just instead of feeling constrained, let's just react. People like reaction, and we like reaction. They won't necessarily be live streams, although I do enjoy these live streams, Jeff. But
I know
it just means that we can cover more ground quickly and provide you with more information and more debate. Because Jeff and myself, some of the debates we have, I mean, and
we can't televise those. You can't put those out. They'd be banned.
No. Good grief, we'd be arrested instantly.
Yeah.
I'll leave that to your imagination, exactly what we'd be saying during those debates. But okay.
Well,
listen, everyone, please. Yeah. Go on.
I will say that it is good afternoon for now from me.
And it's good afternoon from him. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you later.
Good afternoon, everybody.